Politics. Don't you just love it?
Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
Hey everyone, welcome to a discussion video about politics in video games. There's been a heavy emphasis on politics in entertainment. It's been a big thing in film and television, but it has been really heavy, especially now, lately, in video games. And I know politics have always existed in video games, but it was done in different and proper ways. And just now, with modern politics, it has just gone insane. It's a little crazy, and game industries really need to know what they're doing because they're jeopardizing their games, and they're making a lot of polarization within the community, and they just need to stop doing that. And I'm going to talk about in this video how to do politics properly in gaming and how not to do them. Because politics are in everything. Like a lot of types of stories. Not every story needs politics, but there's a lot of political things in stories, and politics just surround all our lives. And politics is in like science fiction and fantasy. There's always politics. Like Game of Thrones is like one of the greatest shows ever. Is rooted in politics. It's just you need to do politics in a smart way. And you don't spoon feed your audiences, and you don't just give them the answers. You give them conversations, you give them dialogue, and you try to get the audience to figure it out themselves. And you don't pick a side. You don't pick a left or a right or a center side. You throw ideas, and you let the people figure it out themselves and choose their own paths. That is how you do proper politics in video games, because video games are games. It's choices you make in the game, because they're games. You're playing them. So the best example of politics in video games is like the Call of Duty games. Like, they're very political games. You're working for government and assassinating very like dictatorial figures and stuff. And clearly those are the bad guys. But the game, especially Modern Warfare 2, shows ideologies in different ways of what is right and what is wrong. And it shows you the horrors of war and the bad things they have to do, but they do it for the love of their country. There's no right or wrong, really, and it shows political intrigue in a smart and intelligent way. Another fantastic game that does it is Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas is rooted in a lot of politics. And it's interesting politics because you play as your own character, and the world has gone to an end, and there's a lot of crazy things happening in the world. There's like slavery and trafficking and all this stuff. And there's these different divisions within the worlds of Fallout. And you, as the character, choose of what side to choose. You choose what group you want to be associated with, what you think, as the character, what is right and what is wrong. And there's a lot of politics in the game, and you choose what you think is right and what is wrong. Because each side gives their own take, and you have to find out what take you think is the correct one. And then you pick a side, you pick a colony, you pick whoever you want and stuff. And that is how you do politics in a smart and very clever way. And you make everyone invested, no matter what your political ideology is. That is what makes games so intriguing and making politics work within the game. And also Mass Effect. Mass Effect has a lot of politics because this is BioWare. BioWare puts a lot of political stuff and political statements into their games, but Mass Effect is fantastic. And how did they do the politics? Mass Effect 2 is a great example because Mass Effect 2 has very political storytelling within Mass Effect 2 and within the characters in the plot. There's two characters in general that hate each other. Like, there's a character named Jack, and there's a character named Miranda. Jack, you can classify as more as anti-establishment, and Miranda is more government official, and she abides by the rules and the laws and stuff. They each are very different and different politically, and the game doesn't tell you what side to pick, who to fall in love with. It is your choice. Neither one of them are a paragon or a renegade. You have your own opinion. Neither one of those characters are perfect. They both do very rotten things, and they both have their ideologies. And you, as your shepherd, pick who you trust more and who you would put your life with and put your heart with. And the game gives you that choice, and that's how you do political ideologies in a smart way, giving the players their choice, their voice, because everybody has a voice within politics. Because in Mass Effect 2, both Jack and Miranda believe very different things for the world and for their planet and for their people. They both believe very different things, and neither one of their beliefs is right or wrong, but you choose whose side is better for your character. And that is politics done beautifully, and that is why Mass Effect 2 is considered one of the great video games of all time, because it has a gripping storytelling, and anyone with any ideology and any political stand can understand what the game is trying to tell you. Then BioWare does a game last year called Dragon Age: The Veilguard, and it just does this.
So, I'm non-binary.
What does that mean?
It means I don't feel like a man or a woman.
If you are neither a man nor a woman, then what are you?
Non-binary. I just said, and I'm going to use they instead of she from now on.
If this is because I have criticized your dress or your manners...
It isn't!
Best part is, while Tash is pounding that snake's nose, she's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties, I was so proud.
Oh,
Ah, shit. They're still holding it, sorry.
What are you doing?
Pulling a barb.
Oh. Okay. A barb?
Tradition in the Lords of Fortune, from one of our old members, Barv. Good guy, but like most of us, his plans went sideways a lot. Bad blood among your crew's not good for morale, but there's not always time for big, drawn-out apologies. So, when one of us screws up and we know we've screwed up, we do a quick 10 to put it right. Pulling a Barv.
What in heaven's name are you talking about?
See, that is just an ideology shoved in your face, and it's not challenged or talked about. It's briefly saying, like, the mother of the character is just like, I don't understand, and then it just turns into an argument, and then the conversation is shut down. Because the game is telling you, this is the right ideology, this is the right path, there is no conversation, there is no dialogue. That is identity politics done very poorly, because you're shoving something down someone's throat and you're telling you, the gamers, this is good, this is bad. It doesn't give you the choice. Like, this character is like, okay, this character is this ideology, this is what they believe they are, and you have to accept that. There is no challenging that. They even have a section, again, when someone misgenders someone, she has to punish herself for that. There's no conversations about it. They don't explain, like, why are you doing this punishment to yourself? Why this and why that? There is no dialogue. No, it is just, this is what it is, live with it, deal with it. That is just one-sided of a political story. That is one-sided right there. There is no dialogue, there is no options. Even the dialogue options within the game of Dragon Age: The Veilguard are all pleasant and nice. Like, there is no, like, when you played Dragon Age, you can be an asshole if you wanted to, because that's your choice as a human being, the free will and a free choice, and the speech that you can have, that is your choice as the character you play. But the game wants so hard to be politically correct and be more a safe zone for gamers that it just gives you a nice option, a slightly nice option, or a kind of nice option. There's no mean or disrespectful options. And then, again, there's no dialogue then. Like, there's no, it's just, this is it, no disagreements. And I'm like, that's not the world we live in. And if you're putting, and I know it's like, this is a fantasy game. Like, exactly, it's a fantasy game. And they're putting modern politics within the fantasy game, gender ideologies and gender language within a fantasy world. So they brought that in. So if you're bringing that in, you also have to bring modern day conversation when you're talking about these kind of things. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. But the game doesn't want to do that because it has one stance and one stance only, and it doesn't want to hear any other side or any pushback. But that's not the world we live in. When you're talking politics and ideologies, you need dialogue options, you need conversations, because that's just how society works. And that's how you create real and human stories. And that's why Dragon Age the Veilguard was a failure. People didn't like being talked down to. People didn't like, okay, you're shoving identity politics, and we have no option to skip it or challenge it or talk about it. No, it's just, this is what it is. Shut the fuck up. Like, wait, what? Another bad example is The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us Part 2 is an example. And a lot of people, is one of the most polarizing games in all of gaming. People saying this is one of the best video games ever. Some people say it's one of the worst video games ever. And honestly, I think how it attacks politics and ideologies is terrible. It's really bad. Because it shows one side of a spectrum, and that's it. Nothing else matters. No other side matters. There's a scene in The Last of Us Part 2, and they also did it in the show, where a gentleman is very bigoted towards Ellie and her new girlfriend. And he's obviously wrong, or like people are like, that's wrong and everything. Then when he apologizes, his apology is not accepted, even though he's genuinely sorry. And then that's the line, like, have a bigot sandwich and stuff.
What you got there?
Bigot sandwiches.
Smells good.
This is called self-righteousness, that you know you're in the right, you're better than that person because they're hateful and you're not. So being hateful back to them means you are right. And that's why I never agreed with that. There was never a conversation. Like, the game never gives you a conversation of why. Why was this guy bigoted? Why was he hateful? There's no dialogue. It's just, he's an asshole, Ellie's not. She's right, he's wrong. There is no dialogue, there's no conversation. Sorry, changing my camera angle here. My mic died. Don't you love when that happens? Anyways, as I was talking about, in the game also there is talk of religion. They talk about religion in the movie, religious cults. Then they talk also about gender ideologies, non-binary and stuff. And it's all about what is evil and what is good. And they don't explain what evil and good is. They're just telling you, this is good, this is evil. The religion is evil, this gender ideology is good. They don't explain why, they don't have a dialogue about it. It just tells you this is what it is. And for some reason, Neil Druckmann thinks that's profound and that's what people want to hear. And no, that's not. That's not profound, and that's not what people want to hear. And again, there's no intelligent writing and intelligent conversations explaining himself. He's just saying, this is what's bad, this is what's good. And it doesn't even give you the option to even like, is it though? Or even challenge it. And that's not how you do politics and gaming in an intelligent way, like Mass Effect 2 did and stuff. Also, like, if you're doing obvious things, it's obvious. Like, in Bioshock, it tells you, like, how bad slavery is and stuff. Well, yeah, it's very obvious that's bad. Like, war is bad. Like, those are obvious things. But when you're going to talk about something that's very polarizing, and you're going to go on the side of pro and not negative, you have to have a dialogue and a conversation and profound ideas to explain yourself and to hold that into a more of a correct position that you're trying to prove, which you're not proving. That's why the first Last of Us didn't really have many politics in it. Hence why most people enjoyed it and not as much the second one, because the second one was overly preachy on his ideologies. And the show is doing pretty much the same thing. And the thing is, they've done conversations like this before, even like Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X is very anti-establishment and religion because they believe in Yevon and the faith and stuff. But they realize it's all false. It's a false faith and a false belief. And they tackle that in a smart way through conversation, because the Al-Bad is labeled evil because they use machina machines and stuff, and the machines has destroyed cities and destroyed worlds. And to people who believe in the faith believe that's evil, and the people who believe in the machines believe faith is evil. And either or, there's not really a right or wrong answer, but the faith is wrong. It is clouded in just their belief system, and they challenge that in smart ways. They have conversations, they have dialogue. That's why Riku and Waka are such interesting characters. They both believe in different things, but they don't hate each other. And they don't say you're right, you're wrong. They challenge each other's beliefs. And that is how you do political conversations in gaming in a smart way, and not be so hateful and bigoted towards the opposite side of your beliefs. And that is how you do politics properly in gaming. But again, that was a game made 20 years ago. Gaming now is very different. Everyone leans certain ways and certain ideologies, and they want to push it and not have dialogue and just say, this is the right way, that is the wrong way. That is not how you do it properly within storytelling, because that instantly dates your story and it instantly polarizes your story in the game and in the story you're trying to tell. And that's why games like that don't stand to the test of time, and that's why people don't like them. The reason people loved the first Last of Us so much is because it didn't have that. And the reason people don't like the second one is because it has that. Same with Dragon Age. Dragon Age Origins has political storytelling. It has what is good and what is evil, and rulers of worlds believe their ideals and believe people should obey by those rules. And Origins challenges that in Dragon Age Origins. And your character chooses the path that you want to believe in. And it doesn't give you the right or wrong path. You choose your own path. But in Dragon Age the Veilguard, it's, this is what it is. There's no other path. This is the ideology. This is the politics. You believe that. That's it. And that's what makes people angry. Like, well, this is not even a game then. This is just a lecture. And that's why Dragon Age Origins and Inquisition still hold up, and the Veilguard instantly dates and people hate it because people don't want to be talked down to. And that's what I feel like what's going to happen with the new Naughty Dog game with Intergalactic. It's about anti-religion. He did in Last of Us Part 2. He's going to probably do it again. Who knows? Maybe the game will have intriguing dialogue and interesting conversations. But I don't think so, because he believes what he believes, Neil Druckmann. He believes what he wants, and this is what he believes. He's very anti-religion, and that's what the whole game is going to be. And I'm like, that's not interesting. You can't just say religion bad, and then that's it. I'm like, you have to have details, conversations, and you can't just be like, this is all horrible things, and don't talk about any good things. Like, then it's just a one-sided story and a one-sided conversation. And by games, storytellers don't want to do that, because they put their own ideals and put their own, they don't want to focus just on story and characters. They want to put their beliefs within the games that they're creating. And if you want to do that, fine, but you have to make it cohesive. You have to make it playable for everybody, and for everybody to understand. And they are just losing that in gaming now. So politics can be done well, and politics can be done badly. It's just how you do it. Right? Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions on politics in gaming, and what are some video games that do politics properly. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and join the dark side.